We need to come together, the private sector, the civil society, the government, the diaspora. Yes, indeed, we do have what it takes to make Nigeria a great country.
Nigeria, sailing smoothly, prepares for robust engagements. Vice President Shettima tasks Diaspora.
We need all hands to be on deck to consolidate on the gains of the last 2 years plus.
We are together in the Nigeria project. Federal government reassures citizens counting in hours to Nigeria at 65.
Virtually, this one is fake. We are going to subject these samples that we took to laboratory analysis.
The enemies within, fake fertilizer in markets, and the plight of the hard-working farmer. Hello and welcome to the Network News on NTA. I'm Naja'atu Tijani. Joining me live on our usual segments, business and sports, are Musa Abubakar and Ayo Makinde. Musa, who are the top gainers?
Well, well, much of them are actually, top in the market. But right now, oil prices sink over 3% over OPEC's plans to raise output.
All right, then, just hold that thought. We look forward to the details. And Ayo, what's happening in the sporting world?
Well, Flying Eagles are about now starting their campaign at the FIFA Under-20 Men's World Cup in Chile, just as FIFA has also offered Nigeria a glimmer of hope to qualify for the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup in USA, Canada, and Mexico.
So let's keep the hope high. Remember that this broadcast is being streamed live on our website, nta.ng/live, and you can follow us across social media. Our handles are displayed on the screen. And now the news in detail. Nigerians in the diaspora have been assured of robust engagement under President Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. Vice President Kashim Shettima said this at a meeting in New York, assuring them that government is positioning Nigeria in its rightful place in the Committee of Nations and urging them to keep believing in their home nation. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jubrila reports.
Nigerians in the diaspora meeting the Vice President in New York on the sidelines of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly.
We need to come together, the private sector, the civil society, the government, the diaspora. Yes, indeed, we do have what it takes to make Nigeria a great country.
All our efforts are not in vain. Nigeria is moving.
All we need is an inclusion, acceptance back home, because we have all the will to go back home and give back at home.
Nigeria is the big brother to a lot of African countries. We are here to, build SureSend as a remittance platform. There's an outreach for us in Nigeria to build a smarter SME platform to help bridge the gap within financial discrepancies.
And the Nigerian American community is the most upwardly mobile immigrant community in the United States.
Vice President Kashim Shettima commended the resilience and belief of Nigerians in the current government, noting their capacity to add value to the country's transformation efforts.
Are making progress. I always cite the case of a company, an oil palm company. It's called Presco. 2 years ago, Presco's share was going for 345, 400 naira. In the last 2 years, Presco's share grew by 247%. Dr. Ali Garba, go and buy Presco shares. For the first quarter of this year, Presco posted a profit of 58 billion naira. And this is just a microcosm of the larger Nigerian economy. So opportunities abound. It might interest you to know, ladies and gentlemen, our foreign reserves is now hovering in the neighborhood of $42 billion. We have crossed the Rubicon, and we are on a path to sustain growth and stability.
When we all come together, we had a fantastic event this year
We also have the data mapping portal. And there are programs for you, for example, the Diaspora mortgage, where you can get 50 million naira mortgage to own your own homes. And we've created a portal where you don't need to be duped to own your own home. So many things for the diaspora.
He urged the Nigerian community, not just in the United States, but across the world, to be proud of their heritage, noting that the nation's positive development indices in all spheres of the Nigerian is a reflection of well-thought-out policies of the Tinubu administration. From New York, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Counting down to Independence Day here at home with a World Press Conference leading activities lined up to commemorate Nigeria's 65th anniversary celebration. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, hints that Nigeria's spirit will continue to remain high and unbroken as a nation after more than 6 decades. Shehu Muhammad Datti reports.
Speeches, the World Press Conference is a forum that provides Nigerians and stakeholders an opportunity to come together and celebrate the nation's independence, reflecting on the theme of the 65th anniversary, calling for all hands on deck to consolidate on the nation's progress.
The renewed hope agenda has become the guiding framework for transforming Nigeria. It is an agenda that speaks to national rebirth, inclusivity, and sustainable progress, thereby providing hope for our people, especially the youth, who represent the future of this nation.
The briefing captured key issues shaping Nigeria's development, including economy, security, and social justice.
We are all aware of the economic reforms initiated by this administration. They are bold and imaginative, but sometimes difficult, but necessary steps aimed at stabilizing our economy, restoring investor confidence, and laying a foundation for long-term growth.
At 65, Nigeria is more than a number. Today's World Press Conference and earlier activities have set the tune for October 1st, 2025 anniversary. In Abuja, I'm Shehu Muhammad, NTA.
Still on the World Press Conference, messages of hope, unity and patriotism remind Nigerians of the enduring principles they should imbibe, with the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, giving an account of stewardship of the federal government in the last 28 months. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
This briefing is before the President's October 1st broadcast, as the government spokesman, Mohammed Idris, did not speak from imagination, but from facts and figures he collated as a coordinator of the ministerial press briefings and leader of the federal government communication team that is constantly visiting project sites across the country.
Since our independence from Great Britain, we are all witnesses to the remarkable reforms taking shape at a pace never seen in the history of this country. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is doing the needful. He is committed, he is courageous, and is also a visionary leader that is gradually dismantling the stubborn clogs in the wheel of our national progress.
Transforming the economy, education, road and rail infrastructure, energy, solid minerals, health, and the equitable distribution of capital projects across the country are all reforms for national renewal.
We need all hands to be on deck to consolidate on the gains of the last 2 years plus, even as we march boldly towards the Nigeria of our dreams. We fully acknowledge your sacrifices and your understanding, especially in the last 28 months, as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has worked tirelessly to steady the ship. It is now time for the entire country to reap the fruit of the seeds of reform that have been painstakingly planted by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his administration in the last 28 months. Ladies and gentlemen, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is working for you. This administration is listening to you. It is also committed to ensuring that no Nigerian is left behind in our march towards progress and prosperity.
At 65, the administration assured to pride itself by strengthening Nigeria's role in safeguarding democracy within and across the continent. Stakeholders at this briefing agreed that Nigeria at 65 is still work in progress. But under the renewed hope, Nigerians are assured of better days ahead. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Still on Independence Day, a major event associated with the celebration will not be taking place, as the federal government has cancelled the Independence Anniversary Parade previously scheduled to mark the 65th Independence Anniversary on Wednesday, October 1st. In a statement by the Director, Information and Public Relations Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the cancellation is in no way a diminishment of the significance of this milestone anniversary. The government remains committed to celebrating Nigeria's 65th year of independence with dignity and enthusiasm. All other programs slated for the independence anniversary will remain in effect. The government deeply regrets any inconvenience caused by this cancellation and appreciates the understanding, support and cooperation of all Nigerians, members of the diplomatic community and invited guests. It urges Nigerians to support the reforms of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in making Nigeria a great nation. The federal government has declared Wednesday, October 1, 2025, a public holiday to mark Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. A statement from the Ministry of Interior indicates that the Minister, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, congratulates Nigerians at home and abroad on the occasion. He urges citizens to sustain the spirit of unity and resilience since independence and to support the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. The minister expresses confidence in Nigeria's continued growth in peace, progress and development while wishing citizens a memorable Independence Day celebration. And now we head to Kano State, where the government has organized a pre-independence anniversary lecture with Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf sending a message of increased investment in education and economic empowerment for young people as a key solution to Nigeria's security and social challenges. Abdullahi Mustafa reports.
A gathering that showcased Nigeria's unity in diversity and reflected Kano's cosmopolitan character. Young children from various ethnic backgrounds displayed the richness of their cultures, part of activities marking the country's 65th independence anniversary. With the theme, Strengthening National Security Through Unity and Development, the event brought together government officials, technocrats, and community leaders who presented ideas on tackling the major challenges facing the nation. Through effective discharge of civic responsibilities and active citizen participation in governance, they believe Nigeria's quest for accelerated development can be realized. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, whose message was delivered by his Chief of Staff, Suleiman Wali Sani, identified youth economic empowerment as a vital strategy for addressing security and social challenges.
They are our inventors, our peacekeepers, our cultural ambassadors, and our bridge to the future.
He noted that Kano State Government is already engaging young people in various income-generating initiatives through its wide range of programs and policies. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, here in Abuja, the meeting between representatives of the federal government, organized labor and Dangote refinery is still on at the conference hall of the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment. Our correspondent, Joseph Otsen, who has been at the venue from the start, reports that it seems some agreements have been reached. officials are seen doing some paperwork. Now let's join Joseph Otsen live for an update of what's happening. Joseph.
All right, Najatu, of course, the meeting is still ongoing. When we saw the representatives of all the parties, we definitely knew that we were going to have a long day. And it has been on since afternoon, just some few minutes to 4 p.m. or so. And then up till now, the meeting is still going. It has actually been an intense engagement. We've seen situations whereby members of Pengassan will come out, will break out in clusters to go and have conversations before they go in. Representatives of Dangote will also do same, and then go back in. And then just a few minutes ago, when I just saw the door open, I checked in and I saw, I noticed that it's like seems they have reached an advanced stage. I saw members of Pengassan who went into the minister's office and then they now came out. And then shortly after that, representatives of Dangote also went into the minister's office. And just within that period, there were some paperwork going on there, typing on certain things. So it seems some 13 agreements have been reached, and then they need to type it out and sort things out, present it back to all the parties, and then we'll see if what they have on ground is what actually they agreed on before they can now come out with a statement. You know, it has been an issue of unionization. Dangote had earlier agreed that the workers can form unions, but shortly after that, the workers, Nupeng members started complaining that they are not allowed to practice some certain their activities on Dangote refinery. Dangote equally have accused them on some certain things, which include collecting some fee for every truck that moves out of the refinery. Dangote went ahead, and I also they too accused Dangote refinery of sacking about 800 workers and replacing them with say Indian workers. So this has been in TUC. You know, actually the people in this meeting, that's Pengassan. Pengassan is like an elder brother. That's the petroleum and natural gas senior staff workers. They're like a senior brother to Nupeng. And Nupeng, because they have an issue with Dangote in the court, they can't they couldn't participate in this thing. They can't. They're not the one that declared industrial action. So Pengassan is coming in here for, let's say, the younger brother, and Pengassan is also here with TUC. TUC, all of them are under the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC. So we are hoping that this night some resolutions will be reached.
It's looking like it's going to be a long night, but from what you've reported, it seems some headway has been made, and we look forward to the details, to the updates.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, I've been speaking, that was our correspondent on ground, Joseph Otsen, giving us an update concerning the Pengassan meeting and the federal government. And now we'll take a break. Stay tuned for more reports in a moment. Thanks for staying tuned. The federal government says it is intensifying efforts at translating youth-focused priorities into feasible, inclusive and impactful programs that will reach every part of the country. The Minister of Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, stated this at a two-day retreat on presidential priorities and deliverables organized by the ministry in Abuja. Olainka Uju reports.
Delivering on the presidential priorities represents an important milestone in Nigeria's shared journey. For the ministry that oversees the affairs of the greatest asset of any economy, this retreat serves as checkpoints and a strategic pause to reflect on how best to accelerate national development and rebuild public trust in governance.
We must replace silos with synergy, bureaucracy with responsiveness, and routine with innovation.
Responding to questions on the robustness of data tools. The minister says the ministry remains a place of hope and empowerment. He notes that in the second quarter review of 2025, the ministry achieved more than its targets in youth empowerment, digital skills training, mentorship and career development.
The Nigerian Youth Academy, NIA, has recorded over 250,000 youth actively engaged across the Youth Academy itself, the NIA gig, the NIA job and internship, the youth NIA community.
The scheme has continued to drive active development and empowerment initiative and youth support system through enhanced partnership.
That together we can achieve results that resonate with our youth and communities across the Federation.
The theme of the retreat underscores the ministry's commitment to translating vision into action. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
Let's talk infrastructural development now. With the construction of its inaugural flyover bridge and underpass, Damaturu in Yobe State is on the verge of becoming a megacity in Nigeria. This landmark infrastructure project promises to revolutionize the 34-year-old state capital, paving the way for a modern and thriving urban hub. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
More than 22 billion naira is committed by the state to this ambitious project that is said to transform the 24-year-old capital into a bustling metropolis, enhancing its infrastructure and economic prospects. Due to the importance attached to this transformative project, Governor Maimala Buni visited the construction site amidst cheers from residents and was conducted around various sections from where he gives an assessment of the level of work done so far.
I'm highly delighted and impressed with what I saw here. So we are highly happy and grateful that our people will soon start benefiting from this project.
Similarly, Governor Buni was at the 16-kilometer Damaturu-Gambir Road project for a personal assessment of the quality and speed of the project, where he highlighted the economic value of the road to agrarian communities along the corridor.
In our determination to boost agriculture in Yobe State, this road is going to serve and is going to be very, very significant, and it will be impactful for the communities that will benefit from the road. When you want to build community, they said build roads. So there is no limit to what a road can do.
The contracting firm handling the Damaturu-Gambir Road project has pledged to deliver it within the next 9 weeks, while the flyover and underpass project is expected to be completed by January 2026. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Now let's go to Jigawa State, which has received 20 trucks of fertilizer from federal government to be sold at subsidized amount under the Food Security Initiative. Governor Umar Namadi acknowledged the receipt in Kiyawa local government area of the state during his weekly citizens engagement program. Muhammad Musa Askira reports.
The joyous mood followed Governor Namadi's announcement that Jigawa State has received 20 trucks of fertilizer from the federal government on the directive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The fertilizer to be sold at a subsidized rate of 30,000 naira per bag are part of the national push for food security and agricultural productivity. The people of Kiawa in turn expressed their admiration for the governor by presenting him with gifts and awards, underscoring their affection and unwavering support. Before arriving at the venue, Governor Namadi was joined by the member representing Dogo Tudunwada Federal Constituency of Kano State, Honorable Al-Hassan Ado Dogwa, to commission a multi-billion naira road project linking Andaza, Duhua, Katanga and Baranda communities. The project is expected to unlock new economic opportunities for the people of the area. In Kiawa Town, the governor alongside APC stalwarts also commissioned 2 new dormitories at the Federal Government College, Kiawa, and inspected facilities at the Cottage Hospital, where he ordered a total overhaul and upgrade to improve healthcare delivery for the people.
What we have seen in Kiawa today is a reflection of the fact that the people of Jigawa State are there for APC. And APC is there for them.
By Namadi model in Jigawa State, if every other governor of the APC will do the same, I would like to assure Mr. President that by 2027, our election will be an easy win.
From music to infrastructure, agriculture to healthcare, Governor Namadi's Kiawa engagements combined governance with a human touch, and the people responded with love. Muhammad Musa Askira, MTN.
Still on fertilizer, an assessment by the Farming Input Support Services Department of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture has uncovered widespread contaminated fertilizer containing up to 90% sand flooding markets in Bauchi State. Abdullahi Aminu has the details.
This visit by the team from the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Department of Farm Input Support Services to Bauchi State is initially certifying fertilizer processing plant and quality of production processes. The agricultural inspection team, however, unveiled some shady practices, including various fake fertilizers which are containing up to 90% of sand, trademark infringement, and the sale of unregistered fertilizers in local markets.
We have to engage them officially, and we have invited our state inspector of fertilizer inspector based in Bauchi, to now call them and have a meeting. And this is one case of infringement on their trademark. And virtually this one is fake. So we now decided that we are going to subject these samples that we took to laboratory analysis.
The team leader also cautioned farmers about the risks involved that might affect the government's goal of achieving a bumper harvest, with a promise that a strategic approach will be put in place to address the issues after a thorough investigation. Abdullahi Aminu, NTN News.
Now let's talk legal matters. The Federal High Court Abuja Division has declared as illegal, unlawful and unconstitutional the plan by a former presidential candidate, Professor Pat Utomi, to establish a shadow government in Nigeria. The presiding judge, Justice James Omotosho, gave the order while delivering verdict on a suit filed by the Department of State Services against Pat Utomi. Justice Omotosho restrained Pat Utomi and his associates from proceeding with their plan to establish a shadow government or cabinet in the country. Justice Omotosho declared the concept of shadow government or that of any cabinet as unconstitutional and alien to the nation's presidential system of government. The court held that Utomi and his associates cannot hide under the rights of association to criticize government by engaging in unlawful activities. He commended the plaintiff for filing the suit and held, among others, that it was within the rights of the DSS to take steps to prevent acts capable of threatening the nation's internal security. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has described the Nigeria Police Force as more than just an enforcement institution, emphasizing its role as the frontline defender of law and order in the country. Francis Form reports that the IGP made this remark while addressing newly called-to-bar police officers at the force headquarters, highlighting the critical role of legal expertise in policing and noting that no force can effectively discharge its mandate without officers who possess a deep understanding of the law and the ability to apply it with clarity.
As young officers, I charge you to strengthen prosecutions, ensure that our cases are tight, professional and beyond compromise. Uphold integrity. Let your conduct be above reproach. Compromise and corruption must never stain the directorate. Do not misuse your legal knowledge for personal advantage. Channel it into service. Let your competence strengthen this directorate. Let your integrity inspire this institution. Excellence will be recognized and rewarded. Mediocrity, however, will not be tolerated.
The IGP notes that the Directorate of Legal Services now bears the crucial responsibility of providing clear legal direction, ensuring watertight prosecution, shielding the force from legal vulnerabilities, and shaping policy at the highest levels. President Bola Tinubu congratulates Muhammad Badaru Abubakar, the Minister of Defense, whom he describes as a consummate administrator, on his birthday. President Tinubu commends the minister for his dedication to service, recalling his leadership as governor in Jigawa State, where he led security, agriculture, and infrastructure interventions from 2015 to 2023. The president prays that God grants the former governor, who is also the Sardauna Ringim and Walin Jahum, more years of good health and strength. It's time for another break. Do stay tuned for more reports. If you're just joining us, this is the Network News on NTA. The presidency has reacted to Professor Jerry Gana's statement that former President Goodluck Jonathan will contest the 2027 presidential election. Bayo Ononuga, special advisor to the president on information and strategy, in a statement indicates the opposition is desperate and ganging up against President Bola Tinubu despite glaring giant economic strides. He says Nigerians still remember the legacy of economic ruin bequeathed by the People's Democratic Party after 16 years of bad governance, and advises former President Jonathan to be wary of the PDP sugar-coated cheerleaders who want him to enter the race and later abandon him midstream as they did in 2015. While clarifying that President Jonathan reserves the right to run if he wishes, the courts must determine whether Jonathan, who was sworn in twice as president, is eligible to contest a third term in office. He reminds the PDP and Jonathan that they need to convince the people as to whether he has anything new to offer after a disastrous 6 years for which they voted him out in 2016. The statement further reminds Nigerians of the Renewed Hope agenda, where the president has stabilized the economy in slightly over 2 years in office, with the gross domestic product growing by 4.23% in the second quarter of 2025, the highest in 4 years, outpacing the 3.4% projected by the International Monetary Fund, while outlining other gains and progressions of the Renewed Hope agenda. The statement concludes that President Jonathan and others are welcome to the 2027 race. They broke the economy before, but Nigerians who will not easily forget the recent past will not allow them to return and run it down again, it says. And speaking of the economy, let's now join Musa Abubakar for more on the business circle. Musa?
Thank you, Naja. Oil prices slide by nearly 3.5% on Monday, pressured by expectations of higher global supply. The decline followed OPEC Plus plans to boost production in November and the restart of crude exports from Iraq's Kurdistan region through Turkey. Brent crude futures dropped 3.5% to $67.71 a barrel earlier, retreating from Friday's peak, the highest since July 31st. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude also lost 3.7% to $63.32 a barrel. Now, it was a bright day on the Nigerian exchange as the market closed in the green, bringing fresh cheers to investors. The all-share index climbed to 142,377.56 points, penting the trading floor with optimism. Activity was strong with over 383.9 million shares traded in 28,114 deals, valued at a solid 11.62 billion naira. The rally pushed the equity market capitalization higher to 90.12 trillion naira, signaling renewed investor confidence. Sky Shelter Fund led the gainers with 10% share price appreciation, closing at 346 naira 55 kobo per share, followed by Thomas White, Nigeria, leaving Trust Mortgage Bank and Interna. On the losing side, AXA Mansard Insurance came out last with an end-of-day price depreciation of 10% at 14 naira 40 kobo per share, followed by University Press, Learn Africa, and Julius Baker Nigeria. For many, today's close in the green is just numbers on the chart. It is a sign of resilience and perhaps the start of fresh upward trend. Now, the S&P 500 climbed on Monday as Wall Street sought to recover momentum following a week of cooling in the artificial intelligence trade. Let's see stocks across the globe. But that's it. The news continues after the break.
You're just in time for sports update, and Ayo has all the action. Ayo, over to you.
Thanks so much, Naja Atu. Let's begin from the world of football, where the race for the 2026 FIFA World Cup for African countries in Group C just got wide open after FIFA deducted 3 points from leader South Africa for fielding an ineligible player, Teboho Mokoena, in the qualification series against Lesotho on March 21, 2025. FIFA also fined South Africa Football Federation 10,000 Swiss francs, in addition to awarding 3 goals and 3 points to Lesotho. With this, Benin Republic leads the group on 14 points with South Africa, while Nigeria is on 11 points with 2 more matches in the qualification series. Nigeria will play Lesotho on October 10 at the Peter Mokaba Stadium in Polokwane, South Africa, before hosting Benin Republic at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo on October 14. On the flip side, Warriors of Zimbabwe, due to FIFA standards, played their home match on South African soil, with day-night encounter against Bafana of South Africa at the Moses Mabhida Stadium in KwaZulu-Natal, Durban, before South Africa played Rwanda at the Mbombela Stadium, also in South Africa. Although South Africa still have the rights to appeal the decision by FIFA. Elsewhere, Nigeria is presently taking on Norway in the Group F opener at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile. Captain Daniel Daga is leading from the midfield with a star team including Sporting Lagos' Ebenezer Harcourt, Belgium-based Osea Achihi, and Slovakia-based Sani Suleiman. The Flying Eagles were runners-up in 1989 and 2005 and will rekindle their quest to bring back home the trophy this year. Nigeria is drawn against Norway, Saudi Arabia, and Colombia. And as the last time out, Nigeria is by a goal down at the moment with another 45 minutes to play. Let's move on to the world of tennis. Carlos Alcaraz rallied from a set down to beat Kasper Ruud 3-6, 6-3, 6-4 to reach the final of the Japan Open. The world number 1, who has now made 9 consecutive ATP finals and earned his 66th win of the season, overcame early frustration and 15 enforced errors by lifting his serve and mindset in the later sets. He will now face American Taylor Fritz, who defeated Jensen Brooksby 6-4, 6-3 with 13 aces to book his first hardcourt final of the year. And that's your sports. It's back to Najatu.
Thank you very much, Ayo. It's time for the weather forecast.
Hi there. This is what we expect going into Tuesday morning. We expect a mostly cloudy skies with sunny spells, while a few rains on the thundery side to parts of Taraba, Adamawa, the Federal Capital Territory, Kwara, Niger, parts of Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Delta, and River State. By late afternoon, more rainfall are likely to the southern part of Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, Katsina, parts of Bauchi, including parts of the central cities and the southern half of the country. And that's your weather update for Tuesday. I am Akami Samarra. Thank you for watching.
The weather forecast concludes the network news on NTA. Thanks for staying with us till the very end. I'm Naja'atu Tijani.